Rusia sobre Ucrania va a afectar a todo el mundo. Por cierto, vamos ya con la macroeconomía. Recuerden que hoy hemos tenido datos de PMI de Francia, también datos de PMI de la eurozona, datos también del Reino Unido, de Estados Unidos, que hemos conocido esta tarde, hace aproximadamente una horita, datos que decepcionan respecto a las expectativas y datos que en el caso de las manufacturas se sitúan en territorio por debajo de los 50 puntos, es decir, territorio contractivo para la economía. Vamos a intentar analizar un poquito más los datos de PMI para Europa. Tenemos ya hoy a Ricardo Amaro, Senior Economist en Oxford Economics. Ricardo, thank you so much for being in Negocios Televisión. It's a pleasure to speak to you. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for the invitation. So, as most people might be aware by now, today's PMI showed a sharp slowdown in eurozone growth, and they actually indicated that growth nearly stalled in June. So this is a quick turnaround since April, when the PMIs were signaling relatively solid growth in the eurozone. And then the main development since then has been a slowdown in the services activity growth. Services are still rising for now, but at a slower pace than before. And as you just said as well, manufacturing is deeper and deeper in contraction, so both key sectors are contributing to this slowdown. Maybe in terms of looking ahead, the trend is clearly on the way down now, and also the forward-looking elements from the PMIs suggest that we might fall into contraction territory at the early stages of Q3. So all in all, a disappointing report from the PMIs today.
To France, Ricardo, suddenly the reading was below 50. What is this telling us about the French economy?
Yes, so the French economy is similar to others in terms of its manufacturing performance, which is deeper in contraction. Maybe the standout in terms of French activity is the fact that services are already quite weak. So today, the PMI suggested they already contracted in June. That's ahead of, for example, Germany, which recorded a moderation in the pace of growth, but was able to sustain positive growth in June.
This data, Ricardo, is good for inflation, but bad for the economy. Do you believe we will have a severe recession in Europe?
So at Oxford Economics, for now, we still expect growth to continue through the summer, although in a very modest rate. And I guess it's important to mention two things about the PMI. So the first one is that they haven't been a great barometer of growth in recent quarters. So for example, in Q4 of last year, they underestimated the performance in the sense they suggested the economy would record a bigger contraction. And now in the first half of the year, they seem to have overestimated the strength. So there is that point about the PMIs at the moment. And then maybe a second point that can be made is the PMIs stood out in terms of the strength they were signaling, while most other surveys for the Eurozone were pointing to a more modest performance. So today's figures might also include an element of a catching up of the PMIs with other measures of sentiment and activity. So I guess it tells that some caution interpreting the figures is warranted, but I guess all in all, it's still a very negative report that clearly suggests there is downside risks around our base case for modest growth. And that's particularly true in the case of the ECB, given that they expect even stronger growth through the summer and quicker and quicker rates of growth than into 2024. So clearly a report that suggests this might be too optimistic at this stage.
Ricardo Amaro, Senior Economist in Oxford Economics, thank you so much for being in Negocios Televisión.
Thank you.
Nos decía Ricardo en estas últimas palabras que quizá el Banco Central Europeo estaba siendo demasiado optimista, decía también. Y también aseguraba que todavía deberíamos tener un poquito de cuidado, de precaución con los datos de PMI que hemos tenido en la jornada de hoy y que aún así sigue siendo un informe bastante negativo que sugiere que hay riesgos a la baja.